So good. My loves, remember when I told you guys that I felt like I turned 40 and I just started falling apart? This is true testament that I turned 40 and I just started falling apart. So I did document my whole experience at the hospital, and that's what the video will be about today. So I woke up today with unbearable pain, not unfamiliar pain, gallbladder pain. At midnight, I started to feel my usual pain that I get when my gallbladder hurts, and I tried to sleep through it. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I got up to take some ibuprofen. Then at 4 o'clock in the morning, I got up to take some apple cider vinegar, and the pain would just not subside. It just started getting worse and worse to the point where my back was hurting. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't lie. Everything just hurt. So, in fear that I know that I've had gallbladder issues for over 20 years now, I was just afraid that this time was going to be it, that I was going to have my gallbladder rupture or something. So I woke my hubby up and he said we should just go to the hospital, and I sat there for a good 45 minutes pacing back and forth because I just hate coming to the hospital. But he convinced me to come, and we've been here since like 7 a.m. this morning. So just in case you're wondering what gallbladder pain feels like and maybe you're going through something similar, it starts in the pit of your stomach, like here, just underneath your rib cage, and it feels really tight with like a lot of pressure. And then you can also feel nauseated because of the pain. Typically it lasts 1 to 2 hours, sometimes as long as 6 hours, but this time it just would not go away, and so I just felt like something was wrong. Some people experience vomiting, diarrhea. I didn't experience any of that, but it was really bad. The pain was really bad. So they came and did x-rays and all that good stuff, and of course they found the stones, which I already knew I had because I did this about 20 years ago, and they confirmed then that I had stones. So I just feel like I don't want this to happen again. Every time I get an episode, it's really painful. Really, really painful. So we're going to go and have it removed today. By the way, they gave me morphine. I haven't had morphine in a really long time, and she did say it was going to feel funny, but oh my god, that was not fun. Like, you immediately feel a head rush to your head and you get dizzy, and then it feels like you have like a weird sensation, warming sensation going through your entire body. I couldn't even pick up my arm at first because I felt so weak after it went through, but it did take my back pain away immediately, which was crazy. So I'm like comfortable finally. But it just felt weird at first. Like, you felt really dizzy and just, I don't know. She told my hubby it was a good time for him to ask me questions, but he's afraid to hear the truth. I've been home now for a day and a half post gallbladder surgery. Oh my god, did I need this cup of coffee? It's so good. I recently discovered that Panera sells loaves of sourdough. And I understand that sourdough is supposed to be gut friendly, so I'm having toast with coffee because I feel like I'm drinking so many medications, so I'm not really even hungry. I just feel like I need food in my system. If you are new to the channel, welcome. It is Chrissy G. And if you are back, welcome back, my loves. So I know you guys saw my short about me being in the hospital with gallbladder, just because I know when I start getting the gallbladder pain, the first thing I do is go find videos of people who have done or gone through it so that I could see, okay, is that what I'm feeling? Is that resonate with me? And so that's why I really wanted to make sure I documented this experience with y'all. Jeez, guys, I swear I was perfectly fine. That first day I was in the ER, I developed this cough. This morning I woke up with my nose and my eyes just burning, so I'm assuming I have like a head cold maybe. I don't know, but good God. This all came all at once. I can't handle this. So anyways, we went to dinner for Valentine's on Saturday instead of Friday because you know how usually on Valentine's Day it's crazy. So we made reservations with my parents and my brother and his wife. Excuse me. And we had dinner late. It was at, our reservation was at 5. And so we ate between 5 and 6:30. It was a Brazilian steakhouse. Mind you that I had not eaten all day because I knew that I was going to have a hearty meal in the evening. And so I saved my calories for that one meal. And so I did eat enough to feel full because, you want to get your money's worth at these Brazilian steakhouses. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat because I love their food. So I did eat, and I immediately was like, oh my God, I'm stuffed. Like, it just feels like I cannot have another bite. And so I did have, I think, like 2 glasses of wine. And so that was that. We left. We went to hang out at my mom's house for a little while. We were there till about 9:30. Came home, and I was getting myself ready for bed, and I fell asleep immediately. And then around midnight, I start kind of tossing because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting that pain. Now, mind you guys that I have had gallbladder issues for over 20 years now. The very first episode I got was I was pregnant with my eldest daughter, who was about to be 20. And I went to the doctor then, and they told me it was heartburn. And I was like, there's no way this was heartburn. Like, it was such an unbearable pain while I was pregnant that I'm like, there's no way that was heartburn. So a week after I had her, I had another major attack. So I had the C-section, fresh cut C-section. That was very painful. And on top of that, I had my gallbladder giving me problems. So I went to the emergency room. They're like, oh, it's just heartburn. You just had a baby. And I'm just, it's impossible that this is heartburn. Like, I have heartburn. Heartburn burns right here and it feels like you can't eat. This is not that. So they dismissed me. So I had another episode, and my mom's like, you know what? Just go to a family doctor. They can probably do an ultrasound and see if it is your gallbladder. So that's what I did. And sure enough, he's like, hey, you have quite a bit of stones in there. That's why you're having these issues. And he's like, my suggestion is don't wait till it hurts again. Go to an ER. Tell them that you're in pain because they won't know if you really are or not because you do need the surgery. And that was his advice to me. And I just was like, no, it'll be okay. I don't want it removed, It's there for a reason. So for the last 20 years, once or twice, sometimes 3 times a year, I get these horrific pains in my stomach, in the pit. Everybody wants to know where. It's always like right underneath your rib cage, and that's exactly where I have my scar at, right there. So when it gets so painful, it starts to radiate up your right side. So that's how you know it's gallbladder. It starts at the pit of your stomach. You feel like a lot of tension, like you have a giant knot in there. And then the pain gets to where your back is hurting, and nothing you do makes you comfortable. No matter how you sit, lay down, walk around, it does not matter. It's just awful pain. So I always treat myself with apple cider vinegar and ibuprofen, and usually I'm fine. Sometimes the episodes last 15 minutes, sometimes they would last an hour or two, but they would go away, and then I lived my normal life. Never noticed what triggered it, because sometimes they're like, well, did you eat really spicy foods, or did you eat greasy foods? And I'm like, yeah, but I eat that all the time, and I never get episodes, and then all of a sudden I get one. So I could never correlate a trigger with the pain, right? Well, fast forward here, I'm pacing around at midnight, and I'm just like, oh my God, this can't be happening. Like, please go away. And because I have to go to work the next day. Or well, this was Sunday. Yeah, so I'm like, please go away. And it got so bad that my back started hurting really bad. And usually it doesn't get that severe. It goes away after 15 minutes, sometimes an hour, and then I'm back to being normal. Well, this time it just was really bad. And I think I was just nauseated from like the pain, and because some people will experience vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, things like that. I didn't. It was just nauseated, but I didn't throw up. So my husband, it was probably now 6 in the morning, and he's like, let's just go to the hospital. Like, this isn't normal. Usually it goes away. He's like, what if something's wrong this time? And I'm crying and crying on the couch. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the ER. We had so many things to do today. I wanted to take the kids to breakfast. Like, this was not in my plans. And he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it'll be fine. We need to get you taken care of. And so I took a shower. I was hoping the pain would get better. But no, I got into the ER. I still had the excruciating back pain. And I just felt just terrible. So I walk into the ER. And they admit me right away. I think it was like 10-15 minutes I waited. And they immediately take me to go do ultrasounds, x-rays. They took a lot of blood work. And the doctor came in and he's like, yeah, you have a lot of stones in your gallbladder. They're like, but it's hard to tell if it's infected or not. But if you're experiencing this much pain and you've had it for that long, it probably is starting to show signs of infection. And so he's like, it's up to you. Do you want to stay or do you want to go home? And I'm like, because they shot me up with morphine at that point. So I didn't feel nothing anymore. And my husband's like, just get it done. You're here already. And I'm like, I know, but how many days am I have to be out? I have new hires to attend to on Tuesday. You know, life doesn't stop. And I have the hardest time like being out if it's not elective. I'll take an elective surgery all day long, but if it's unplanned like this, it just throws me off my track. And this is probably part of my OCD, right? Like, I need to feel that I'm in control. And at that point, you're not in control. You're in other people's hands, right? So they're like, we'll let y'all talk about it. And they walked away. So I called my boss and I'm like, hey, just to let you know, I may go into surgery today, which means I won't be there for a few days next week. And he was like, don't worry about that. Like, take care of yourself. I can't, don't leave just because you're worried about work. Work is work. You'll be, it'll be here when you get back. So I told my husband, okay, let's just do it. Literally, when you go into the emergency room, their policy is that you're supposed to get seen within 24 hours of getting there. Mind you that I had not had anything to eat since 6 o'clock on Saturday night. So I just sent hubby to go get something to eat. We've been at the ER since like 6:30 this morning, and it's now 3:30. And this is the only thing I can have. Ice chips. I haven't ate anything since yesterday at like 6. I don't really feel hunger pain, I guess, because of the morphine they gave me. But I'm hungry. Like, I could tell my stomach is growling even though I don't feel the pain. This is probably the hardest part, is just sitting here and waiting. I'm not in pain. I'm comfortable. Honestly, I have contemplated just walking out and being like, I'll schedule the surgery on my own time, just because it's very frustrating. But I feel like I'm already this invested. I might as well just wait it out. Plus, like, I don't want to go home, feel fine because I'm on morphine, and then tomorrow have another episode, since they have been coming more often. So, just here waiting, my loves. So I was hungry, but they wouldn't let me eat because they said you can't eat if you're going to have surgery. I went the entire day, 24 hours without eating. Again, when I choose to do this, it's because I'm like, if I can't handle it, I'll have something to eat. But when you're telling me I can't eat, it's just frustrating because all I want to do is eat something because I was just starving. So, of course, the pain's gone at this point. We're 24 hours in. The doctor, well, not 24 at this point, but the doctor comes into my room at about 7 o'clock, 6:37. All day they kept telling me he should be on his way. He's got other surgeries, but as soon as he gets a chance, he'll come this way, and your surgery will probably be in the evening. So that's why they wouldn't let me eat. So then the doctor comes in and tells me, yeah, we need to get your gallbladder out. You have any questions for me? And I'm just like, well, no, I mean, are we going to do it today? And he was like, let me find out. He's like, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it today. And if I don't do it today, though, I'll for sure do it tomorrow. He's like, if I do it today, if I don't do it today, I'll make sure that you have something to eat. You just can't eat after midnight. So they brought me my dinner. So then here we are the next day. I had terrible sleep. The room that they had me in was in the corner, right in front of the nurse's station. And there were some double doors right next door. There was a closet where they put all the dirty linens and whatnot. So there was constant in and out of that corner where they had me. So I couldn't sleep because every time I'd start to fall asleep, I'd wake up with some banging because, no one cares about noise level. No one's considerate that there's sick people laying around everywhere. They're just going on about their job. And I swear at moments it felt like they were trying to see who could be the loudest. Then you had patients screaming, help me, I'm throwing up, like just screaming, rooms of people just screaming that they needed help. And it felt like you're in a psych ward. And it was just an awful overnight experience. My husband couldn't stay with me because there was only a chair. And obviously he wasn't going to be comfortable. So I sent him home. So I was by myself. At 4 o'clock, they go in there to draw some more blood work. I went to the restroom. And now it's 8 o'clock and I still have heard nothing. 8 a.m. And I'm just starving. And I'm just so hangry because now all I had the night before was a piece of chicken breast and some green beans. So it was probably a total of, 500 calories maybe, if that. So my husband gets there and the nurses come back in and I'm like, I'm leaving. I said, can y'all please take the IV out? I had already gotten dressed. Really got ready to leave. Back in my house PJs. And I told them that I was leaving because no one's told me anything in 24 hours. I'm miserable. I haven't slept. I haven't ate. I'm starving. I have a terrible headache, and now they're saying my liver enzymes are going up, so they don't recommend that I leave because that's a sign that my gallbladder could potentially start becoming infected. So here we are, waiting game again. I'm miserable, absolutely miserable. And she was like, "Why are you leaving?" And I'm like, "Because no one tells me anything. I'm just sitting here in limbo. I don't know what's going on. You guys been telling me that the surgeon was going to be here, and no one ever. It's not your fault," because she tried to like, well, I'm like, I know it's not your fault. But I said, obviously, there's no sense of urgency for me to get my gallbladder removed right now, and I feel fine. And she's like, yeah, but that's a risk you're going to take. What if it's already infected and it's just going to get worse? And so then she brings the doctor in, the on-staff doctor, and she's like, I really advise you to stay because we looked over your test results from this morning, and your liver enzymes are rising. And yesterday they were okay, and now today they're rising, which leads me to believe there is something else going on with your gallbladder. Maybe it is starting to get infected. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll stay. She's like, give me till 10:30, and I will come and let you know your surgery time. She's like, I know you're hungry. She's like, if he tells me he's not going to do it today, I'll make sure you get some food. So she comes back at 10:30 and tells me, okay, he said he'll be here. Your surgery is at 4. So I'm like, okay, at least now I know I have a goal to be like it's at 4 o'clock. So they take me back at around 1:30 and prep me for surgery. The surgery, I I had the worst headache going into surgery just from the lack of sleep and food probably. And I felt like I was getting a fever because I was cold and hot, cold and hot. And so it still hurts for me to talk a lot. I can feel the just pain inside my stomach. And it's awful. And I don't know if this is normal because most people are like, oh, it's perfectly fine. Like it's an easy surgery and you're back at work after a couple of days. But I don't know. I feel terrible. So, anyways, they do the surgery. They put me out, and when I got up from surgery, I actually felt better than when I went in because my headache had now gone away. I'm sure it was whatever they pumped me with, and then my eyes felt better, and I just generally felt better. So we just came out of surgery. It was only about an hour long, and he did show my husband pictures of where I had a lot of rocks in my gallbladder. I'm not in a lot of pain, but one of my incisions is really painful.
Gallbladder. That one right there. And then this right there.
Every time I come out of anesthesia, I'm a crybaby. I feel okay.
She hits me.
Yeah, I was mad because I didn't see my hubby in the room when I got back.
They didn't let me come in here.
I'm happy that the anesthesia didn't make me feel sick like sometimes. I just feel I went in with a really bad headache and I came back without the headache, so I'm happy about that. My mouth is really dry and that one big incision hurts really bad. I'm just really tired now. They told me I could go home today, so I'm happy about that. So here we go. They get me back to the room. They're like, we'll bring you some food. They brought me this. I asked for a soup and salad, and they brought me, and I'll leave the video here, you guys. They brought me a pork dish with macaroni and cornbread. And I was like, no, I don't want to eat a big old meal. I want something light that I can digest easily. He brought me some chicken noodle soup. There's my Italian ice I was eating. Some key lime pie and a sandwich. Hubby ate half of it already. My mouth is so dry, so the soup tastes good. I had my lunch, and then they're like, well, the doctor should come in and talk to you afterwards. Never saw the doctor again. It's now 9 o'clock, and I'm like, am I getting discharged? What's going on here? So the girl's like, oh, well, that was the day shift people. They didn't leave anything about you signing out, so that means you won't leave till tomorrow morning. So I was like, oh, no. No. I said, either you guys need to get me into another room, you know, like one of those rooms that have doors on them, or I'm leaving because I cannot get any sleep in this room. It's so noisy. So she tells me, okay, let me see what I can do. So now my husband leaves because visitation's over at 9. He had my son, so He ended up leaving around 10. And at 10:30, I went and flagged the nurse down again. And I'm like, hey, anything? Can I move rooms? Or am I going to be able to go home? And she's like, I just got off the phone with the doctor. And he said you can go home. I was like, thank God. So literally my husband had just made it to the house when I called him back and like, hey, they're letting me go. So he went to go pick me up and brought me home. So I was okay yesterday. I didn't feel too bad. I felt like, okay, I can do this. I can go to work. But then this cough started getting worse. My nose is all stuffed up now. So I'm assuming I have some kind of cold. I hope it's not like flu or COVID or something. But I don't know. I can't really taste what I'm eating. But that happens every time you have a cold, so. So now I'm dealing with all this stuff on top of the surgery. I'm just a hot mess. A hot mess. I didn't lose any weight. That's the first thing I did when I came home. Check my weight. I weigh the same thing. So no weight loss this week. Which I know that I'm probably retaining a lot of fluids because you know how they have you hooked up to IVs, and I haven't been peeing a lot and it's been very dark, so I know that it's concentrated. So I know I need to drink more water. I'm trying. But yes, you guys, I know I can't believe this. So the nurse did tell me that there's been an uptick in gallbladder removal. And she says anytime there's like a big fad, like a big diet fad, everyone comes in for gallbladder removal. She's like, it happened when the keto one, I can't think of the name right now, it starts with an A, Atkins. Yeah. She goes, when the Atkins diet became really popular, sorry you guys, I just burped. I have to let all these gases out, so I'm trying not to hold them in. She said when the Atkins diet became popular, she's like, everybody was in here with gallbladder issues. She's like, now GLPs became popular and all this weight loss and everybody's in here for gallbladder. I don't know if the GLPs got me to this point, to the breaking point, or if it was just 20 years of suffering that finally just broke me and I was like, I can't take it anymore. I was afraid that it would burst on me because it happened to my uncle, Erica's dad. He ended up in the emergency room on his deathbed because at that point he had jaundice, his stools were white. He was just falling apart because, you know, at that point the bile was leaking and it's toxic. So yeah, he was in the hospital. My mom had hers removed right after she had me. So yeah, it's pretty common apparently. But I had taken the pain for so many years. So anyways, you guys, that's my story. This is my weight loss Wednesday. No weight loss, just gallbladder removal. I also want to say thank you to everyone who sent me prayers, well wishes, good vibes, their thoughts. I'm so appreciative that in our community we're so supportive. So thank you for everyone who reached out and checked on me and all that good stuff. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It's incredible to see how many relationships we create from these videos, and so I'm just so grateful for you guys. So thank you all for everyone who reached out to me. I want to say that I really appreciate it. Until next time, my loves, talk soon.
What is your second plate?
Huh? Our first walk post-surgery.
Let's get them slippers.
I'm ready to go to the restroom. Pretty cool vending area. That's pretty cool. Salad in a jar.
That probably would have been better than my spaghetti.
Got us a cheddar-filled jumbo pretzel. Okay, so we are at 6 hours post-op and I'm walking around in my room because they want you to walk as much as possible to get the CO2 out of your system. So my symptoms going in 6 hours post-op is extreme dry mouth. Like it was hard for me to eat because when you don't have saliva, it's hard to swallow what you're chewing. I didn't never realize the importance of saliva until today. My throat's really dry and scratchy, I guess from the anesthesia. I do have the sharp pains in my abdomen, which is normal because of all the CO2 and obviously the soreness of the incisions. But other than that, I'm feeling in good spirits finally. My headache completely went away. I went into anesthesia with a horrible headache, and I woke up and it was gone. So thank God. My fevers went away because my body is temperatured properly again. So we're doing pretty good. So I had surgery last night at 4 p.m. Excuse my voice, but I guess when they intubate you to put you to sleep, it can scratch your voice and all that. So anyways, I'm already working. Corporate America never stops. I feel okay though, other than the real soreness and my voice being a mess. I'm okay to sit a little bit, and of course I want to get a lot of walking in because they said that's the only way all that gas that they pumped into you will get out. So that's probably the most painful part. It feels like sharp pains when you breathe because all that gas needs to come out. So, but we're not even 24 hours after surgery and I'm able to work again. So there's that. This is what I'm having for breakfast post-surgery. It's a yogurt granola bar, my hydration, of course, and a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. I've already eaten like a fourth of it and like a little bit more than a fourth on that. But I think I'm full. They didn't give me any dietary restrictions other than try not to eat high fatty foods or spicy foods. So that's not a big issue for me. I probably shouldn't have done the bacon in the sandwich, but it's not that much. So yeah, I'm up and walking around. It's been less than 24 hours since I had my gallbladder removed, and so far it's okay. For dinner, I'm having a homemade chicken soup that my mama made for me, and some sourdough bread because I hear it's gut friendly, but I already had half of that. So I'm officially 24 hours post-op, and I'm eating well. I'm officially 24 hours post-surgery. I think my voice is like this because of the tube that they used, and I have a cough at that. But I'm able to move around, I'm able to eat. I do still have a lot of pain on my right side because that's where they did most of the digging. So it feels like you have sharp pains in your chest and your stomach. But outside of that, I'm able to get up and get around. So that's what's important to me because I hate just being in the bed. And then the Tylenol 3 they gave me makes me super sleepy. So even though I'm in pain, I'll just wait it out until tonight when I can sleep without being stressed out during the day. So anyways, I just want to give you guys an update. Here's my chicken soup that I'm having that my mom made me. So I'm gonna eat that and I'll be back.